G'day everybody. Recently I got to sit down with Brendan Forwood from SBB People and talk about the Readiness program. The Readiness program is a wellness program that employers and schools are rolling out across the state. There was a lot to love about this program as both an employee and as a manager. There's a lot of great opportunities within that. One of the things that I loved was that it's coming out of one of the directors of the Readiness program has done and developed this through and working with the Melbourne Storm. So that to me builds a lot of credibility around this because those guys have been at the top of their game for a long time, and anything that they're up to is usually going to be a cutting edge, pushing forward type of thing. So if you're an employer or a manager and you're looking to get some up-to-date information and a back and forth, not just a one-way, are you okay, check in with your people. If you're genuinely interested in knowing what's going on, monitoring your staff and helping them get not only the best out of themselves, but the best for the organisation, the Readiness program is something you may want to be having a look at. And this video with Brendan gives us a bit of an insight into what it's all about, how it works, and how it can be used as an employer. So tune in, have a look, and hope you find some value in it. Thanks very much to Brendan from SBB People for jumping in to give us a rundown on it. Readiness, you've mentioned high performance teams a couple of times, but as a rugby league tragic, one of the great dynasties, Melbourne Storm, there's a connection there.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that and how that's happened.
Yes. So Simon Carney, who's the founder, has spent time with Melbourne Storm as high performance coach, and so a lot of what he's learned and what is in the platform has actually come from what he has done in the past with the Melbourne Storm. So I suppose the privileged position of having spent time, there's a lot of money, a lot of resource that goes into sports to help athletes be at their best. And so part of the reason why Readiness was developed was to take that gold and then bring it into the business community, bring it into schools so that other people can have, I suppose, the same access and resources that players in high performing sports actually get access to as well. So awesome. It's a great initiative.
There's very few organisations of any sporting type in the world that you could learn better from than the Melbourne Storm. They've been
absolutely,
in one of the most competitive environments that you can exist. They've been at the top of their game for a long time. So
what it is and what it does is different to a lot of other programs that are out on the market. You would normally find a employee assistance program brought into businesses where if they need to talk to a psychologist or they have challenges within the workplace, the staff have access to a bunch of different people who might be able to support them. Where Readiness is different is it comes from a background of high performance sport, and it's about proactive management of well-being and health. And so the reason why I really love the approach of it is it's getting on the front foot rather than waiting till it's too late for someone. They need to go and speak to someone in whatever field of support they need. And by doing that, it's making it front of mind, it's making it more cultural, it's opening conversations, and it's getting everyone from the CEO or the business owner down to the staff at the front line, sharing a conversation and an awareness around well-being as well. So it's not being pushed aside, kept in the dark. Often what happens is you don't know things are going on for people until it's too late, as you said. So what this does is it creates a conversation, makes it more proactive, and it aligns with what our business is about, which is rather than being there just when things go pear-shaped, we're actually helping you avoid it in the first place by making it something everyone's focusing on.
Am I right in summarizing the Readiness program as basically it's a program that goes into your business and then employees fill out a survey on a set frequency? I guess that can, is there some variance in that? It can be once a week, could be every day. Yep. So you set a frequency that employees. Yep. I'm imagining that's going to be a massive help to proactively start that conversation. Around, hey, I can see a few things here that are not quite right or that are out of the ordinary. Is that the crux of it?
Look, absolutely. And the idea is that the survey data is anonymous. So when a staff member goes in and completes the survey, the management team or individual managers can't see the staff feedback. What is set up in the system though is you can have an advocate or a buddy. So I could get you to be my buddy, when I fill out the survey, you can actually see my results.
Okay.
And so it's designed to be helpful, but also give people that, I suppose, a level of anonymity or a bit of security around. It's not, the data is not just going to be out there for everyone to see. So
Yeah.
there is individual level, you have a buddy or an advocate. Some people don't have one, others do, can be inside the business or outside. And in some of the businesses I work in, I'm a buddy to some of the employees in there as well. So I can, for example, today we had a survey go out every Monday and Thursday in one of the businesses. And so I can go in and see those results, and then it gives me an opportunity to, there's lots of information around what to do if you are a buddy or an advocate, to talk to people, to check out how they're going. Obviously, you don't have to be a psychologist or have a degree or qualifications. It's more about creating a connection point in businesses. And on top of that, you have the ability to see trends and data across the business. So I can't see individual data for each individual person, but I can see across a team or a business unit. I can see the results and how they track from survey to survey. So it's the same survey that goes out on a week-to-week basis. So I can pick up trends, and on top of that, the Readiness team also send us monthly surveys, reports, so that and identify areas.
I'm putting my manager team leader hat. We often say, make the saying is very common, and it's easy to say but hard to measure, is, one bad apple can spoil a bunch. We all know when there's a good workplace environment, everything's going well, and potentially either somebody who's in that workplace environment and was in a good space and positively adding to that, it takes a bit of a turn for whatever reason. That can happen. Other times it might be adding somebody new into it. From an owner point of view, that could be the manager. You have one manager there, or it could be somebody within the team. When you're talking about that, I'm imagining that as a manager, I'm going to be able to have some basically visual in my face data, which is how I need it, because I'm a brickhead. I'm going to have some things in my face to say, hey, this is happening here. We can see this decline, and then I can cross-reference what's changed in that time period. So am I understanding and picking that up correctly, and that's how it would play?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the trends in your team. Like, I'll give you an example. In one of the businesses, when we had the 3-day lockdown in Brisbane a couple of weeks ago, the average score dropped about 5 points. And then by the next Monday, it jumped back up to where it was. So immediately you could see a change.
Mate, tell me, I want to close out. I've got a couple of questions to close out. Firstly, I want to know, do you think that we're going to see a lockdown extended in Brisbane?
I think everything points to that. It seems the case. So if I was a betting man, I'd say likely. And I think that's part of why what we're talking about today is so important as well, because if there's a couple of days that you've got to have lockdown, it's sort of manageable. Once it extends into a couple of weeks, you then start to need to have a bit of a plan or a strategy, because you can't just sort of wing your way through it.
Yeah. What's your number one thing, readiness program or not? I'm about to go work from home for another week. I've just done a week at home. What's your number one tip for me as an employee, just to try and make that a little bit smoother process?
Yeah, I got a tip from one of my old bosses, Ali Hill. She said, if you don't set boundaries, the world will set them for you. So I think when you're working from home, like anywhere, any part of life, you've got to have a bit of a system that's going to work for you. So I know from a productivity perspective, I'm really good in the morning. By about 3 in the afternoon, if I'm buried in spreadsheets, there's not much good that's going to happen there. So I think you got to know yourself, set some boundaries around how you do it, and be a bit flexible. Obviously, if there's kids, I'll have my 2 young kids come and knock on the door and bring out an apple and ask me to go and play on the trampoline. So I think it's just take it easy, and it's unprecedented times. So the more calm and chilled and orderly things are, generally you'll tend to go better.
Good times. Yeah, I love that quote. Thank you, Ali. All right, guys, so there you have it. Brendan from SBB People. If you need to get in touch with Brendan, or you're interested to know a little bit more about this, give me a shout on wherever you've seen this platform. I'll happily put you in touch with Brendan. I can vouch for him being an absolute professional and kicking a lot of goals. So always nice to meet somebody in that aspect, and look forward to helping you guys out. If you want to look him up directly, you'll find him on at SBB People. That's SBB People. So jump on a Google and you'll find him, or check him out on LinkedIn. His details have been plugged out throughout the video. So all the best, team. Keep well and stay safe out there, and fingers crossed we're out of this lockdown ASAP.